My yearly do something list has always surprised me, both with the results, and by the way, the biggest surprise of my results came the first year. I did not know how much it would change my life. But what has also surprised me is what I feel pulled towards doing or trying. There's always something on my list that I wouldn't have otherwise prioritized or thought to explore. In 2020, I put one item on my list just like that. It was have fun with fashion. Now, I could have easily talked myself out of that one because it felt so superficial. Maybe even not on brand for someone who likes to think deeply and help women change deeply and focus on progress outside of perfectionism. Fashion can so easily lean towards the bent of perfectionism. But I decided to keep that item on my list in 2020, and I loved the results so much that I've kept a version of it every year since. In fact, this year it's on my list as Explore My Personal Style. So, what have been the results over these last few years if I've managed to keep it on every time? Well, I'm not a fashion blogger, although I have a few that I would highly recommend. I don't get stopped on the street with questions about my outfits. And I mostly wear basics with a few twists. The biggest result has also been the biggest surprise that in exploring my personal style, I have been able to insert more of me into my daily life. If you feel like you're in a rut with your personal style, then you know how important it is. Just on the flip side, when your clothes don't reflect you, even more than seeing it, you can feel it. Sometimes this happens because we've transitioned to a new season with our bodies, whether that be postpartum, menopause, or health issues that affect the ways our bodies look and feel. In other seasons, this transition happens because we don't have the time or money to prioritize curating our closets. And I think all the time, our insecurities can so easily get in the way of giving ourselves permission to lean into having a personal style right now with this current body and this current season. Today, I want to help you get out of a style rut or to just have more fun with your personal style. I have a special episode for you if you're anywhere on that spectrum, even if you're just a little bit curious about how personal style is about far more than meeting current trends and fitting in. You will hear from Jenny Eversole, the founder of Style Space. It's a virtual styling platform where anyone can get expert styling coaching on hair, clothing, makeup, and skincare. While this episode is not sponsored, Jenny kindly gifted me a Curate Your Closet session with a stylist named Whitney Herrod Khader because, friend, I was in a major style rut. At the time, I had a 4-week-old and was just beginning to get out of my maternity pants, but I kept finding myself standing in my closet and just wanting to burn it all to the ground. And it wasn't simply because most of it didn't fit me, which was totally true. It was more that I wasn't sure if any of my wardrobe reflected me anymore. Together, we'll talk about why personal style matters, the 5 steps you can take to discover and rediscover your personal style, and how your wardrobe can act as a pick-me-up every day. This episode is full of practical gems I can't wait for you to explore, and honestly, after you listen, I would love it if you could send me some DMs or emails with you in an outfit that looks and feels like you. Jenny Eversole and Whitney Herrod Khader, thank you so much for being on About Progress.
Thank you so much for having us, Monica. I have been such a fan of yours for so long, and I'm excited to talk about style with you.
Great. And Whitney and I were able to get up close and personal in ways that we'll share later in the episode, which I'm excited to share. And I have to say, Jenny, you've been extremely patient with me because we've been trying to arrange for this interview in the midst of my complications with my pregnancy and then having a newborn. So you are a trooper. And it was well worth the wait on my end. I'm so excited to be talking about personal style because this is a topic I've never gone over really in 6.5 years now of podcasting. And yet it's been a really important part of coming back to my own identity and my own creativity and finding joy in my everyday life. So our discussion today is going to be about why personal style matters and how to find it again and how to use it in ways that can help pick you up on those days that you just really need it. Before we dig into the material, I want to start with a little bit of street cred for both of you because you're not just here because this is like, I saw you and thought you had a cute outfit and wanted to talk about it. You have a lot of professional experience. So let's start with Jenny and just share about your professional background and how you've gotten into personal style.
Yeah, sure. So Jenny Eversole is my name, and for over a decade, I have been in the fashion and the style industry. I was a fashion designer, and what gave me the idea for Style Space was actually having twins, becoming a mom for the
Yeah.
first time. So I completely relate to you, Monica, when you say transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I had my twins, and for about a year, even though I was a fashion designer creating beautiful clothing for other people, I felt like I was just surviving with my style and also
Yeah.
carrying two humans, birthing two humans, and taking care of these premature infants.
Wow.
And yeah, so I was invited onto a TV show to introduce my fashion collections about 3 months post pregnancy. And this was a really big push to get me back into my style.
Mm,
And I called my sister, who is a stylist, just a couple hours before the interview, and I was freaking out. Alicia, what should I wear to the interview? I know what I'm going to say, but I cannot for the life of me think of what to wear and how to do my hair and makeup again. So, over a 30-minute video call, she led me through what to wear, what colors would look best on my skin, and also with the camera lights. And for the first time in about 18 months, I felt like myself again. And
mm,
it really translated onto camera in the interview. And I gave such a polished presentation, and it was a transformation. And I realized how impactful style can transform me and also
mhm.
other people. And that's where the idea spurred from for Style Space.
So tell us a little bit about Style Space, what it is.
Yeah, so Style Space is a virtual styling platform where anyone can get expert style coaching and hair, clothing, makeup, and skincare. And if you are feeling like you're in a rut with your style, then come to Style Space. And one of our amazing stylists, like Whitney, will basically go through your closet with you and tell you how to wear things in a different way or show you gaps in your closet and things that could really reinvent your wardrobe.
Mm-hmm. That was my experience. Don't want to give a spoiler, but that was my experience for sure. Whitney, tell us about your professional experience in the styling
Yeah,
world.
absolutely. So I've been styling friends and family my entire life, but I actually also have a background in fashion design. I have a degree in fashion, and then right after graduation, landed my dream job with an international nonprofit where I traveled to Southeast Asia a few times a year and designed artisan-made collections, which was absolutely amazing. And a few years later, hit kind of a glass ceiling and ended up moving back to Texas with my husband. And I started styling clients independently as well as virtually on Style Space and in a bridal boutique. And it all just kind of came together for me. I love design, I still sew, but something about putting pieces together in creative and new ways and also challenging myself with the outfits that I would wear to these jobs where I was like, needed to look fabulous and put together because I was styling other people. So I really challenged myself to really push boundaries with what I was wearing. And it was so much fun. So that's kind of my background. With my own personal journey, I really feel connected to both of you with motherhood
Mm,
and how that has changed so much for me. I feel like my entire life I was always so extra and I loved it. And then the pandemic and pregnancy and motherhood all collided at the exact same time for me. And I invested in leggings and tennis shoes, which I didn't even have. I didn't even have
yeah.
them because I was always in heels and lipstick and, you know, just a totally different I lived a different life. And so now I'm on my own journey. While I've been styling people for years now, I'm starting to go on this new journey of finding myself again with
Mm-hmm.
through the lens of motherhood and working from home and all of that. So it's really fun to have this conversation with you guys.
Love that so much. So we're going to have a ton of practical takeaways for our listeners and how to discover theirs, because maybe they've been through a similar transition, like a life transition, or maybe it's just a seasonal shift. Maybe they're aging. Maybe their body is changing. Maybe they've had health problems that have made them need a new wardrobe, or they're just feeling blah. There's a lot of reasons why we need personal style. And before we share those practical tips, I'd like to talk about that a little bit more. Like, why does personal style even matter? Because to be honest, this is a personal development show. And a lot of what we've talked about has tended to be about how you are not your body and, your appearance is the least important thing about you. That's been a discussion many times. So now I'm like bringing in this 180 discussion, seemingly. It isn't to me, and I know it's not to either of you. Let's just level, with these women who are listening. Why does personal style matter? Jenny, let's start with you. What do you think?
Yeah, so style is a powerful expression tool. And every day we get to decide like how we're going to look and feel for the day. Before we do anything else, we get dressed. We open our closets and we get to set that intention about, are we going to feel confident and bold and extra, or are we going to be comfortable and relaxed and relatable? Everyone gets to make that decision every single day when they open their closets. And many studies show that how we express ourselves to how we feel about ourselves, how other people feel about us, our mood, our productivity, and ultimately our success in life. And I'm a big, big fan of style, and I think everyone else should be too.
And when we talk about style, the word that we keep putting with it is personal, because that to me is the key part of what we're going to share with these women today. It's the personal take on your style. It's not like how to dress like you should be, how to look like someone else in your neighborhood, or to copy a celebrity online. All of those can totally be part of the equation. It's personal. And funnily enough, in our personal development show, everything we talk about, even from time management to meal planning to, I'm trying to think what else, habits, like anything we talk about, it all comes back to identity. It's something deeper. It's personal. So I wanted some thoughts on that too, Whitney, for you. Like, why do you think identity has a piece of this puzzle with personal style and why it matters?
Yeah. So like you said, like we don't want to just focus on what someone else is doing or how we're supposed to be showing up, right? It's how do we show up as our authentic selves? And part of that is taking what we like from other people or learning tips on, oh, wow, when I wear this color or I wear this silhouette, I look better, I feel better, I'm more comfortable in it. But ultimately, it comes down to what you like and what makes you feel good and what is that expression that you're wanting to put out, just like what Jenny was talking about. And so one of the biggest things that I work with on my clients is getting past is this on trend? Am I allowed to wear this? Is this cool enough? It's like, well, do you like it? Because ultimately, confidence is the best thing you can put on, right? And if you are confident and you are owning what you're wearing, then you're going to make it work.
I smiled when you brought up that example because I remember asking you that with many of the pieces I held up. I'm like, is this in fashion anymore? I don't know. But yeah, you helped me feel so much better about not only what I had in my closet, but what I wanted to wear and what was in alignment with who I am right now in my season. And speaking of which, like, personal style, I'm going to just say my 2 cents here. It matters because it's like, Jenny, you talked about it's an expression of who you are. It also helps you feel like yourself. So right now I'm in my postpartum period and I've been getting ready every day. To me, just so people know, that means I get dressed. If there's no makeup, if it's not a fancy outfit, that doesn't matter. It's just getting dressed. I have barely been out of the house. I don't see anyone. I don't go anywhere if I can help it. Like that's what I'm doing on purpose. So it's not for others. It's been for me. It's just to help me feel like myself.
I completely agree with what you said. Yeah, it has a lot of impact in just your day to day and you yourself. Everyone and every body deserves amazing style, and they can have amazing style.
I love that distinction right there. Everyone and every body. We're not waiting for the ideal here. We're starting here. We're starting now. let's talk to the women who are like, okay, I can see more of why this matters. And I think I'm ready for multiple reasons. I'm ready. What can they do? And I know, Jenny, you have some really specific tips for us. So we're going to talk primarily to you on this. And Whitney, we have more personal tips from you on how to like have some pick me up. So just so people know where we're going with this. So Jenny, let's talk through your tips about what they can do to find their personal style.
Yeah. So we have 5 steps that we recommend at Style Space. The first one, it requires a little bit of soul work. Personal style, it requires knowing what you like. And so thinking about 3 to 4 words that describe who you are and what your personality is. For example, mine is original, it's chic, and it's confident. And I want anyone looking at me, anyone that knows me, to think Jenny is very this, and that. So think about what those 3 words are for you, 3 or 4 words. And after that, the next step is creating an inspirational style board or a mood board. That's what we as stylists say. You can go to Pinterest, for example, and you can type in chic women outfits.
Yeah.
And you can start pinning all these different ideas. You may have 100 pins, and it could be the silhouette that you like, or it could be the color, the pattern, the shape. And then after you've got hundreds or 100 items or so, then edit that down even further, down to about 10 to 20 items. Make a collage, print it out, and put it on your closet. This is how you want everything in your closet to feel and look. It won't happen overnight, it never does, but it's something that you can aspire to. And all these, I also wanted to say, the images that you pin, they don't have to represent who you are now. They can be who you want to become.
Let me just speak to that aspirational style board thing, because
absolutely,
to me, if they get stuck on number 1, they can do number 2. Like, just see what resonates with you. What do you like find yourself pinning? You know, do you keep pinning like Oxfords? Then you know that you like this like masculine kind of touch, or like this really classic piece. I'm like trying to speak in Whitney language right now. I'm like looking at her like I don't even know if I'm using the right language here. But like just notice what you keep pinning. Maybe you find like you love like the really minimalist, like black, gray, white kind of outfit people, or maybe you're like color and artistry, and even that alone can give you those words. And the reason I'm saying that is because I know this with interior design. Like that's what I've done with my friends. I love interior design. So like my friends who I'm helping with, that's where we start. And then I want to go back to number 1, because I did that kind of adjective thing on accident. I didn't know that was going to be your first tip. When I did this a couple months ago, I tried to come up with like 5 words that describe my style. And I literally put that in my closet, like you said, like I put it on a Post-it note. And it has helped me so much, because I have been feeling so blah in all my transitions. And I've almost been like, do I just dump this closet? Do I just like start all over? And I did need to edit, but I'm just going to share my words. Okay. So my words are classic, artistic, contrast. And for me, that's contrast of feminine and masculine, because I like both, and comfortable. And it's honestly not only helped me get dressed, but it's helped me feel like me, instead of just always doing like the same outfit on repeat that doesn't match any of those things, just because I've lost my kind of confidence with it. So I just wanted to vouch for that. To add to that,
it sounded like that was quite intuitive for you. And, you know, with all of your work that you do at About Progress, it seems like this was just a natural process for you to come up with your personal style.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what you said with number 1, though. You kind of have to do some soul searching. And weirdly, that's what this has helped me do right now, is in this phase of my life being like, who am I? Am I just like an old middle-aged mom with a newborn? And it's like, no, this is who you are. And even if that means your clothes change and your body changes, like this is who you are. Much more after the break. So those are great tips. I'll just recap those really quick before we go on to the next 3. Ask yourself, who are you and what's your personal style language? Number 2, create an aspirational style board. What's number 3?
Okay. Just like you said, we transition and our bodies change, our lifestyles change. And we need to make room for those new transitional pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So getting rid of the things that no longer suit us, whether it was just a past life thing or
A fad.
size thing, a fad,
Mm-hmm.
style, or just it doesn't bring you joy, Marie Kondo. Yeah. So take out all those pieces that no longer represent who you are and that aspirational style board that you have created.
Mm.
And once you have all of those pieces out, you're going to start to see the things that actually work for you. So every time you open your closet in the morning, you will see the things that you actually want to wear. It will save a lot more time and energy and thought process getting ready in the morning.
That's a great tip. Okay, so edit. Now it's time to edit, and women might have problems with that. And that's where I would say style space comes into play. Like, get someone on your team to help have different eyes to go through your closet. And that's what Whitney helped me do. It really was just like a good experience because it did give me a second set of eyes to help me see, like, does this line up with my style vision and who I am, but also just like where I am in my life right now. And we're going to talk more about that specifically, but I just wanted to make that plug right there because the style space service I got was curate your closet. And there's many others too, but that's a good set of
You did
eyes.
amazing, by the way.
Oh,
I
good.
feel like you just needed permission to trust your gut on a lot of things, if that makes sense. Like you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I know this no longer serves me, and I know this is the direction that I'm going in. So yeah, you were a great client.
Oh,
I loved
good.
working with you.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so we've got 3 steps down. What's the fourth step?
Okay, so the fourth tip is look for versatility and consistency with your wardrobe. Many people have challenges bringing in one-off pieces that they really maybe impulse bought or they thought this would be really great for this one occasion, but it doesn't really fit the rest of their wardrobe. And then you just
Mm-hmm.
have all these standalone pieces that don't go together. So think about the 5 outfit rule. Can this one piece be worn 5 different ways with 5 different items in my closet?
Hmm.
So for example, does that one t-shirt you bought, does it go with 5 different sets of pants? Does it go with 5 different blazers? Vice versa. And can I wear this look 5 different ways?
Okay, that's something I would not have thought about, honestly. But that I like that. That's a good kind of touchstone as we are looking to expand our
Yeah.
wardrobe.
And it goes back to your vision board too, your style
Mm-hmm.
vision board. Like they all go together and it just helps create that consistency and your personal style.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, I'd say just experiment and have fun. Though there are specific rules in fashion and design about what looks good on a certain body type. For example, where do you want your eyes to have the attention drawn to? That's one of the rules. However, knowing the rules, you can also break them too. You can, like, back to what Whitney said, you're wearing things to make you feel good, to make you feel confident. And as long as that translates over, experiment with it, have fun, lean into whatever style you want to implement.
This is when I want to bring Whitney in because of my own session that we've alluded to many times. Now we don't get to just keep teasing people. Let's talk about this session I had with you. Like I said, it was a curate your closet session. I'll just tell people how it worked. I set an appointment online with you. It was super easy. And then you had some questions for me to consider. And that helped me with number one, especially just to have that deep work done. So I like knew a little bit more about what I was looking to get from the session. And there were other questions too. And I loved it because of my job, right? I'm like, I'm glad, look at them.
Yeah.
They're going deeper. They know what we need to like be thinking about. Now, you and I met for 90 minutes and I had my whole closet set out on a bed and we just put up one piece at a time and went through like, do I keep this? Do I donate it? And that may sound so simple, but it's not. Like when you get to like this shirt that you spent a lot of money on, but doesn't really look very good on you, or it never really fit right, but you have that kind of like inner hold on it that I have to keep it because that would be such a waste, or so and so gave this to me, or I really want to look like this, but I don't have the confidence. it's again so much deeper. And you just helped me sort through it, with that
I'm glad.
deeper, yeah, that deeper connection, but also just that lens right there of this is what you say you want to look like, and this is who you are. So does that match? And you never gave me the answers either. You helped me make those decisions for myself. And so by the end, I had a curated closet, which felt really good. But I was so surprised. By the end, I also felt happy. I felt like, oh, that
Oh,
closet reflects me. And I also felt excited because I knew I could do that fifth step that you brought up, Jenny. I could experiment more and just have fun. Like it gave me permission to just be released from it. So now to your perspective as a stylist who's helping someone through, you curate your closet, you do that session, curate your closet. You also help another session, you go through people's closets and help them know, okay, you're having a hard time with this piece, but you want to keep it. Here's how we compare it with something else, or here's some style ideas. Like you helped me think like I could embroider a heart over a hole in
yeah, that was
a wool
such a cute
sweater.
idea. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to hear any tips that you have for someone who is going into a session with you. Like, what should they do in advance? What should they expect?
Yeah. So if someone is looking for a full comprehensive style experience, I kind of base my sessions off of style goals. So you have the closet goals. And that
Yeah.
was always the very first session I would recommend because in order to know where we're going, we need to know where we're at right now. And I
Mm,
think knowing going through someone's closet is always going to be the first step if you want the best, most comprehensive experience. And so in that we did identify a few gaps in your wardrobe or things that might need to be replaced. And so the second step would be shopping goals. And so having just a little brief 30-minute session where we chat about sizes and budget, all of that. For store preferences, sustainability, if that's something that's important to you. And then I will do the shopping on my end and then send links. And then the third session that I offer is outfit goals, which is what I think we could do again together,
yeah.
which is going into the closet again, combining new and old pieces and creating different looks. So what Jenny was talking about with the versatility aspect, can this be worn 5 ways? That's what I like to do. I like to pull out more challenging pieces and come up with 3 to 5 different ways of wearing it, whether that's dressing something up or taking something that's a bit more elevated and mixing it in with your casual day to day wardrobe. And one of the biggest tips I have for people is to focus on basics. And it makes it a lot more realistic for clients as well. If you have 80% basics in your wardrobe, which I think you do, which is why this is the part of this was easier because you already understood the value of investing in good basics that you liked. And then you can have fun with 20% of your wardrobe. So balancing that 80-20, it's really difficult to put together cohesive outfits or have a lot of versatility in your closet when everything is a statement piece because it's more difficult to mix and match. And a basic might look different for different people. For some, it might look like a bunch of, colorful t-shirts. And for others, it might be a collection of structured blazers. It's going to
Mm.
be different depending on everyone's lifestyle. But that's where I can come in and help figure it out.
I got a preview of those other two services too, because you did tell me at the end of the session, you sent me some notes like, here are some stores I'd recommend that match your
Mm-hmm.
style. And then you also, along the way said, what about that shirt you held up earlier? Those pants would look really good with that shirt. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? Never even thought of that combo. Let's speak to the resistance people might be facing when they're like, this sounds super bougie. Like, can I afford like a style session or like a makeup artist or like this hairstylist person to like just come and give me perspective? I'm just going to say, after having this experience, I think this saves so much money alone
Yeah, I would
because
agree.
yeah, I went and bought like two things after our discussion. I mostly have what I have now before in
Mm-hmm.
my closet. And it helped me buy less actually, because I felt less like on susceptible to the Instagram ads that track who I'm following and the posts I pause on, like the style ones. So there's that. But I would like to know from Jenny actually what would be your counter to someone who's like, this is too bougie for me to do any of these kind of services. This is out of my league. This is for
Yeah.
celebrities.
Oh, well, that is why I created Style Space, is so that we can have expert stylists like Whitney meet with you and sort through your closet and help you with your style goals in a convenient and affordable way. Because traditionally, stylists are in Hollywood and they're serving a very different clientele and they have very different needs. But now styling is becoming so mainstream that anyone and everyone can afford it. And it actually, like you said, it helps you define your goals so that you no longer have that impulse to buy things that you don't need, that don't reflect who you are. You're basically more informed about what you need, what you like, and what's going to serve you in your closet.
Mm-hmm. Whitney, let's end by talking about some pick me up tricks, because like I said at the end, I just felt good and I want women to feel that way. So let's say maybe they haven't been able to go through their closet necessarily yet, but they maybe they will. What are some pick me up tips that you have for them that they can try right here, right now?
So one of my favorites is layers. I am a huge advocate for layering, and I'd be layering right now if it wasn't 80 degrees in Texas right now.
Yeah.
For me personally, working from home and having a toddler, I live in leggings and matching yoga sets, and I can instantly elevate it by adding a fun jacket or blazer on top.
Mm.
And it looks like I put so much effort in when I just put a layer on top. So that's my number one top tip. Another one is to have some easy go-to jewelry, whether that's earrings, necklace, rings, whatever, that I know I don't have to think about what I'm going to wear. I just know that I like these things together and I can throw this on with any outfit and I feel more polished and I feel more put together. And that's kind of what I did today. It's been a, sick kid and all of
Yeah.
that. It's like this is what I can give. And having grace with yourself, I think, is crucial to this whole experience. Whether it's I'm going to give myself grace to show up at 50% because that's all I have to give today, or I'm going to give myself grace to maybe make a mistake and push the boundary a little too far with my style. And I'm just going to have fun, even if it's not the perfect look. I think that plays a lot into it. But yeah, those are my top two, with layering and having some go-to jewelry, as well as just accessorizing with some fun things, whether that's a belt or, a statement pair of shoes. You can take basics so far with accessories and
Mm-hmm.
a few fun jackets that you could either really invest in or thrift and
Yeah.
add your own little touches, whether that's with some embroidery or adding some fun trim to cover up a stain. You don't have to have a lot of money in order to have fun and be creative with your style.
And that's the message I'd love to end on there, is how we can just not take this so seriously. Even though we talked about why it matters, and it does, and it is serious in many, many, many ways, let's just release ourselves to have a little bit of fun with this, to get creative in our own style of creativity, what that looks like for us. I love to end with a final do something challenge where my interviewees share one small thing that listeners can do in the spirit of expressing creativity and having fun. Let's go to each of you. What would you say? Jenny, let's start with you, and then Whitney.
I would say create your vision board for your style. Think
Okay.
about those three things that represent you, those adjectives to describe you that you want other people to think of you as, and mostly yourself. And one more thing, print out that vision board, put it in your closet, and start working towards it.
Love it. Thank you. Whitney, what about you?
So I would say go into your closet, grab that piece that you don't know what to do with, that you are terrified to style. It might still be new with tags. If it fits you and you like it and you want to wear it, wear it.
Hmm.
And wear it all the time. Wear all of your favorite pieces all the time, honestly. But that would be my thing, is to go in and give yourself permission just to wear your favorite thing on a normal day,
Yeah.
because you deserve to feel special all the time, even if you're just hanging out at home on the couch or going through a coffee drive through to get a pick me up drink in the afternoon. You deserve to feel special, even if no one's around to see it.
So I'll just add on that too. That's awesome. Earlier this week, one of my few outings since the baby's been born has just been doctor appointments. And I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
sick of these. I've been to so many. And I found myself reaching to like for my usual like basic outfit. But then I put on my favorite pair of Oxfords, that
Good
I
for you.
just have not been putting on because I've been around the house or I've just been trying to go for like the quick slip on shoes while I go pick up the kids and bring them back. And that little choice just made a huge difference for me that day. And it just made me feel good and like myself and reflected who I am. You two were so awesome with your practical ways we can do this. Thank you for sharing your experiences too. Before we leave, Jenny, if they're like, I'm interested in this for makeup or hair or my closet, where should they go?
www.stylespace.com is our website. You can search between 50 different styling sessions in hair, clothing, makeup, and skincare,
Okay.
and sort through the styling sessions that reflect your need at the time. And you can book with any one of our stylists at the time that is most convenient for you. Also, if you didn't remember everything that I said about how to achieve your style in 5 steps, don't worry. You can go and download a free guide on our website. And in the guide, we actually include more things like how to
Awesome.
discover your body type, how to dress your body type, how to measure yourself to make even better decisions when you online shop.
And where can they find that?
If you go to the homepage,
Mhm.
stylespace.com, then just at the very top, it says download my free guide to my 5 steps to my dream style.
Awesome. We will link to that in the show notes. If they're on Instagram, because that's where a lot of our audience are, where should they go to look more into Style Space and also see what stylists like Whitney are doing with their clients?
So stylespace.official is where you can find Stylespace and follow along for extra tips and tricks for your style.
Cool. This was so fun. Now I
It
want to
was so
go.
much fun.
Yeah, I'm like, now I'm going to go and put on some Oxfords and do something fun with my style as I leave today. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you both. I hope this episode gave you the hug and kick in the pants you need to grow. I want to drop a little hint here for you. If you have an upcoming birthday or even Mother's Day that you are like, I know what I want to do, offer this up as the gift that you are asking for. I honestly swear this curate your closet session helped save me money in my postpartum period because I knew better what few items to look for and how to use what I already had in ways that I could also better explore what it looks like to feel like me. I'll now share the progress pointers from this episode, and this is where I share the notes I took so you don't have to. Number 1, personal style is personal. It's about feeling like yourself right here and right now. 2, to discover or rediscover your personal style, follow these 5 steps. Define your style language, create a mood board that reflects what you like, edit your closet, look for both versatility and consistency in your wardrobe, and experiment and have fun. Number 3, make 80% of your closet basics and 20% for fun. And number 4, explore how your wardrobe can act as a pick-me-up in simple but powerful ways. Your Do Something challenge this week is to create your style mood board or take that one thing in your closet that you always wait to wear and wear it. Either way, I absolutely love hearing from those of you who follow through with the Do Something challenge. You can email me, you can DM me. If you share about it on social media, just make sure you tag me at About Progress. And I love to pull from these shares and spotlight a few progressors a month in our Growth Spurt episodes. Thank you so much for listening. Now go and do something with what you learned today. Jenny Eversole and Whitney Herrod. I told you, I'm going to do this. I'm going to edit myself. Whitney Herrod Khader. Got it. Okay. Jenny Eversole and Whitney Herrod. Guys, I know this. The problem is I haven't done an interview in months. So this is why I'm rusty. So we'll do it again. Okay. Jenny Eversole and Whitney Herrod Khader, thank you so much for being on About Progress.